Welcome to IT Insights 101. You ever open up a new program and see that black screen with a little blinking cursor and just think, what now? Well, today we're going to demystify that terminal completely. We're going to turn that blinking cursor into one of the most powerful tools you have. Okay, let's just dive right in.
You know, that little bit of black screen anxiety is totally normal, but I want you to think about the terminal a little differently. It's not some scary void, it's a direct conversation with your computer. You give it an instruction, and it responds, instantly. We're basically about to learn the first few words to start that conversation. And trust me, you are not alone on this journey. See this number? 28.4 million? That's how many commands have been practiced on just one online learning site called WebMettle. It just goes to show you there's a huge, active community out there getting good at this stuff, and you're about to join them.
So, first things first. Before we can do anything, we need to learn how to get around. Think of your computer's file system, all its files and folders, as a giant, invisible building. These first few commands, well, they're your map and compass. And they start by answering the most basic question of all. Where in the world are we right now?
The very first command you should probably memorize is PWD. It stands for Print Working Directory, and it's pretty much the digital version of one of those "You Are Here" signs at the mall. Anytime you feel a little lost, you type this, and it grounds you right back to your current location.
So let's try it. I'll type PWD, hit enter, and boom! There it is, /root. The terminal is telling us, hey, you're currently standing inside the root directory. The main thing here is you can never be truly lost. PWD is always there to tell you exactly where you stand.
Okay, so now we know where we are. What about what's in the room with us? For that, we use the ls command. It's short for list, and it's how you see all the files and folders in your current directory. It's basically like flipping on the lights in the room.
All right, so watch this. I'll just type ls, press enter, and just like that, we can see everything inside our /root directory. Looks like we've got a couple of files, maybe another directory in there. It makes the invisible visible. It shows us what we have to work with right here.
Of course, we don't want to just stand in one room forever, right? The cd command, which stands for change directory, is how we move. It's like walking through a doorway into another folder. And once we're in that new space, well, we're going to want to start changing things, which brings us to our next set of tools.
So now that we can find our way around, it's time to actually start building things. These next commands are all about creating, changing, and organizing your digital world. This is where you go from being just a visitor to being the architect of your own little corner of the system.
Let's kick things off with the absolute basics of creation. If you want to make a new folder, you use mkdir, which just means make directory. Simple enough? And to create a brand new, totally empty file, we use the touch command. These two are your fundamental building blocks.
Now this is an important one. We've got two commands that seem similar but are very different. CP is for copy. Think of your standard copy and paste. The original file stays right where it is. But MV is for move, which is more like cut and paste. But here's the cool part. MV is also how you rename things. If you move a file into the same folder but just give it a new name, you've actually just renamed it. Pretty neat trick.
And with creation, well, sometimes comes deletion. The rm command removes files. But I have to give you a warning here. This is not like dragging something to the recycle bin. When it's gone, it's gone. There's no undo button. And if you want to remove a whole directory and everything in it, you use the -r flag. You have to use this one with a little bit of respect.
Okay, so we've navigated our space, we've built some things in it. Now you need to actually see what's inside our files without having to open up some big, clunky text editor. These next commands are your tools for peeking, reading, and searching through your stuff, all from right here in the terminal. The simplest, fastest way to read a file is with cat. You just type cat and the file name, and it spits out the entire file right onto your screen. It's perfect for quickly checking a config file or reading a short note you left for yourself. But what if your file is huge, like thousands of lines long? That's where head and tail come in handy. Head shows you the first few lines, but tail is a lifesaver for anyone in IT. You can use it to watch log files in real time, literally seeing new updates or errors pop up as they happen. It's like a live feed of what your system is doing.
Now this next one, this is a real superpower. grep is basically your personal search engine for the command line. You can use it to instantly find any line that has a specific word or pattern, even inside a massive file. No more scrolling forever, grep just finds it for you in a split second. It's a total game changer. All right, we've covered the basics of moving around and managing files. Now let's look at a few commands that give you a taste of the real administrative power that's waiting for you on the command line. This is where we start taking control of the system itself.
So, a lot of important tasks, like installing software, require admin rights. The sudo command, for superuser do, lets you run a single command as the all-powerful root user. You've heard the saying, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Well, sudo is the key that unlocks that power.
Okay, here's a classic real-world problem. Some program freezes up and won't close. From the terminal, you can fix that. First, you use ps-ef to see a list of every single thing running on your system. Then, you find the process ID, the PID, of that frozen app. And finally, you use the kill command with that number to terminate it. It's like a precise 3-step surgical strike.
And just like that, you now have the foundational vocabulary to speak the language of Linux. Now, we've covered a ton of ground pretty quickly here, but this really is just the first step on a much, much bigger journey. So let's do a quick recap of everything we just learned.
So let's break it down. We learned how to navigate our system using pwd, ls, and cd. We learned how to manipulate files and folders with mkrd, cp, and rm. We can inspect what's inside our files using cat, tail, and grep. And finally, we learned how to take control of the system with sudo and kill.
Look, the only way to really make these commands feel like second nature is to practice. And the great news is, you don't even have to install anything to get started. Websites like Webinol give you a real live Linux terminal right in your web browser. And sites like Linux Journey have awesome guided lessons to help you along.
Think about it. We started with what looked like an intimidating, empty screen. And now you have the tools to navigate, to build, and to control an entire system with nothing more than text. You haven't just learned a few random commands, you learned the fundamentals of a new and incredibly powerful language. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?